If tomorrow the government tells you that it's installing an application on your smartphone by default, you won't be able to delete it, and all of this is being done to protect you, to help you, what would your reaction be? Well, we were this close to something like that happening in India, and we'll try to unwrap all of this on the show this week. Plus, we'll be speaking to Lenovo's AI head, and he has some interesting bits to share about the future of AI, and we'll try to decode that. Plus, is this a camera or is this a smartphone? Stick around because we will find out. I'm Cyrus and you are watching the Tech Today show, and let's kick things off with the headlines of the week. Apple's longtime head of UI design, Alan Dye, the mind behind iOS's Liquid Glass, is leaving the company after almost 20 years. He's joining Meta as Chief Design Officer from the 31st of December. At Meta, he will lead a new creative studio blending design, hardware and AI, a major win as Meta pushes deeper into AR and VR products. Big convenience ahead. UADAI is rolling out a new feature that lets Aadhaar holders update their address or linked mobile number from home via OTP and face authentication through the Aadhaar app. No center visit needed anymore. This could save time and hassle, especially for seniors, remote area residents, or those with mobility issues. The rollout is coming soon. Redmi's new 15C 5G hits India with a huge 6.9-inch 120Hz display and a big 6000 mAh battery. Starting price for the phone is 12,499 rupees, with higher variants at 13,999 and 15,499. The device runs on HyperOS 2, has a 50-megapixel dual rear camera, 33-watt fast charging and reverse charging as well. If you own an Apple Watch Series 9 or newer, your watch can now alert you to possible high blood pressure risks. Using 30-day heart rate data, the new hypertension notification feature can warn users early, a big deal for health-conscious users who want proactive wellness tools right on their wrists. AI startup DeepSeek has released new models, V3.2 and V3.2 Speciale, that claim performance on par with leading AIs like GPT-5 and Gemini 3.0 Pro, including strong reasoning, coding and math skills. And unlike those proprietary systems, DeepSeek's models are open source and free to use. It could shake up the AI world by making powerful tools more accessible.
Citizens have the right to privacy, to send your own messages to family, friends without the government looking at everything.
तो पेगासस वगैरह को पीछे छोड़ देगा.
प्राइवेसी हमारा अधिकार है, आप उसी का लगातार हनन कर रहे हैं.
Making anything compulsory in a democracy is troubling.
हमारी जिम्मेदारी है उपभोक्ताओं की मदद करने की, उपभोक्ताओं की सुरक्षा देखने की.
The last few days have been nothing less than a daily soap drama because there's been so much of it. But it's also led to us asking important questions. Was forcing smartphone makers in India to pre-install a government app for the protection of citizens really the right way to go? Was the Sanchar Saathi app really the one go-to solution to fight online scams and phone theft? And to top all of this, not being able to use WhatsApp without a SIM on the phone, is that really the right way to address concerns about cybersecurity in India? Let's talk about what really happened in the past few days and why it's an important chapter in the Indian tech story. First, let's talk about the controversial app. Sanchar Saathi is a government app designed to help you manage and protect your mobile identity. It has multiple features, from tracking stolen phones to knowing how many numbers are registered in your name. The app is also connected to the CEIR system, which means if your phone gets stolen, you can block the device instantly using its IMEI number. With the explosion of digital scams in the past few years, the government feels an app like this will help report cases easily. Government cyber fraud data says India recorded more than 22,000 crore loss in a single year, and a significant chunk of these cases involved impersonation, identity misuse, or SIM-based fraud.
The way this app works is, the more people report certain fraud calls, the more accuracy will be in preventing the whatever the fraudsters or scam artists. So this crowdsourcing of data is the backbone of this functionality. So the idea DOT had was, the more phones we install this app, the more accuracy and more prevention of the cyber fraud will be happening. So that's why they took this decision.
But even though the Sanchar Saathi app is meant to protect users, it immediately raised questions, especially when talks about it being pre-installed and being undeletable started cropping up. It even sparked concerns about how much access a government-linked app should have. Opposition leaders called it a step towards surveillance. Those concerns gained traction because India has already dealt with a major spyware controversy in the past with Pegasus. That history makes people more sensitive to anything that interacts with identity and device information. So, the doubt isn't about the app's purpose, it's about trust. So that's where all of this hesitation comes in, due to lack of clarity around how deep this thing really goes. What's more concerning for many was the way the government wanted this app to be pre-installed on every new phone that was to be sold in India. Now, the shift from an optional tool to something being enforced, it just opened up a whole new debate, and it just felt really wrong. The push for Sanchar Saathi wasn't limited to users. The government also brought smartphone manufacturers into the loop. All major OEMs were sent a notification asking them to pre-install the app on new devices sold in India. And most Android brands complied till the 3rd of December. When, after intense backlash, the notification was rolled back officially. Apple refused to comply as iPhones don't allow permanent third-party pre-installed apps. While Sanchar Saathi isn't mandatory now, the government has already spoken to telecom companies about another part of the rollout, which is SIM binding. Operators have been given 90 days to implement this. With this in place, you won't be able to use WhatsApp or any social media apps without a SIM on the device. Government says it helps fight fraud, but again, is it the right way to do it? But is the Sanchar Saathi app really that good? Is it really a one-stop solution to fight cyber fraud or maybe phone theft? I don't think so, because all of these features you see are already available on the CEIR website. It's just that people aren't as informed. As for protection against fraud, most telecom operators these days are offering caller ID and spam detection to make users aware. So what's really the point of having a dedicated app for this? It just feels forced. India does need stronger tools against fraud, but the government also needs to be transparent about how those tools work. Most citizens still don't know where to report scams today, even though the platform already exists. That means without awareness, no system is going to reach the people who actually need it. There's also the question of choice. Putting government apps on every device by default creates a different kind of discomfort. In a democratic setup, people should have the right to decide what lives on their phones. Users deserve to know what data the app collects, what it doesn't, how long anything is stored, and who can see it. And all of that needs validation. Not just from the government, but from a neutral body that can audit the app and confirm it isn't doing more than it claims.
Because when it comes to privacy and security, trust has to be earned and it has to be visible.
While the whole controversy around the Sanchar Saathi app might have ended, it also raises important questions about the whole motive. I feel the idea behind the app was good, but the messaging around it was not. The same case with SIM binding right now. If you want to pre-install something, I say go. Do it, but then be transparent about everything that you're doing. And most importantly, don't force anything on the public and make them use it. Rather, try to gain their trust so that they see true potential and benefits of apps and platforms like these. Because now we know that the Janta cannot be bullied into using any particular app. And if you truly want to protect citizens, it has to be a holistic approach, something that no single app can ever achieve. We are with Scott Tease, the main man leading the AI innovation at Lenovo. Welcome to the show, Scott.
It's great to be here, Cyrus. Thanks for having me.
How are you liking the weather in India?
I love it here in Bangalore. It's nice. It's always nice here when I come here.
Great.
Really nice.
So we'll be talking with Scott about what's really happening with AI, because a lot of the people watching the show are somehow excited and also concerned with what's happening, and who better to tell us about AI than Mr. Scott Tease.
Happy to help.
Great.
To help. Yeah.
So let's kick things off with one question that a lot of people have been asking. Do you think that right now AI development is being rushed and we are not taking into consideration about people's employment opportunities, the environment, XYZ? So
With AI, it's really being driven by open source. So instead of having one company develop what's going on with AI, you've got the entire community of people, cloud companies, universities, research sites, individuals, all contributing. So it's making us go much faster than we've ever been able to go before. And I think that's part of the speed that you're seeing. So again, that speed I think is just inherent in how it's coming about. And it is very different than we've ever done before, no doubt. We want to make sure that AI is doing good for society. It's good for the planet, things like that. So those are the kind of areas that we're spending our time on. You want to put down a really good foundation for ethical AI practices.
Right.
And then you build your AI on top of that, not the other way around.
Okay.
Because again, it's a very, very powerful tool, and you could potentially misuse it, there's no doubt. So starting off on a really good foot, how you use data, how you're going to use the AI, that's really critical. We're spending a lot of time with our customers on that.
how do we balance that narrative? Because to train AI models these days, you need to also exploit certain environmental factors. So is there really a balance? Can we achieve some sense in that?
Right now, we're trying to train those AI models to do the very basic stuff, how to think, how to understand the concepts of the world. It's a heavy lift right now. And it is involving a lot of GPUs and a lot of data center power. Now, the hope that we have and the belief that we have at Lenovo, and I think a lot of other companies believe that long term, the good that that's going to do for the planet as we design more energy efficient buildings, more energy efficient cars, optimize the power grid for less waste, things like that. They're all going to be, pay off in a much bigger fashion than the power we're paying right now to build out those systems.
Right.
The other thing I wanted to mention is not all AI has to be that wickedly powerful, unique, expensive, power intensive AI. A lot of AI could run on my mobile phone,
right,
on my workstation, on my laptop, on an edge device that sits, in this building here at the Lenovo development site. So, it doesn't all have to be that heavy lifting, but those core capabilities, they are going to take quite a bit to build, and we're moving really quickly there, and we'll get more finesse as we go over time. Right now, we're kind of brute forcing that capability. We'll get more finesse on it, and as we get those foundational models built, the real value is going to be when people privatize that model with their own data and start doing really creative things in their own industry.
Do you believe there is an AI bubble ready to pop? Because I'm seeing so much of investment in AI, especially among the top tech companies, but very little returns.
As I look at the investments that are happening with things like the cloud players, like the Metas and the Facebooks and the Googles and the Microsofts and everything. As I look at what's going on with sovereign AI systems owned by countries like here in India and in the United States and my home and in Europe, and the GPU as a service things, there's still a lot of spending yet to come. So if there is a bubble, it's not coming right away. That's the first part of it. That's the heavy lifting part of the AI. So could there possibly be a bubble in the amount of like mega AI spinning? Yes, it's definitely a possibility. The long-term outlook for AI is incredibly positive.
Since only a handful of companies right now control AI, what does that mean for a future where AI needs to be democratized, needs to be for everyone, with everyone, but not just 4 or 5 companies controlling it?
Yeah, so right now, again, as you build out these foundational capabilities, I think it's perfectly fine that only a few companies are building out those things. We don't need thousands of foundational models. We just need maybe 100 or something like that to accommodate different languages and different country requirements, things like that. We don't need that many of those things. So having that portion of the AI value chain concentrated, I don't think it's that dangerous.
Elon Musk recently had an interview with a stock investor in India. He said something very interesting. He said, work in the future is going to become optional.
And everything. I don't know if that's the case.
But what is the future of work?
I think let's talk about what AI is going to do. I really don't believe that AI is going to replace people's jobs. I really don't believe that. So AI is a tool. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be groups of people that embrace AI and make it part of their workflow, and there'll be people that don't. And I worry about those people that don't embrace it are going to get outcompeted by those that do. And again, my hat's off to the Indian government. They've done a really, really good job of setting an agenda for how AI is going to work, how to transparently do it. The education system seems to be really starting to embrace AI as part of curriculum. I think you're really well positioned in the future.
Indians are getting a lot of freebies. Why are these big tech companies being so generous with India, as per you? And how do you see India in the future? Do you see it only as a consumer, or will we be able to
absolutely
develop?
not. Absolutely not. So if I look around the world, there's like 4 locations around the world that are kind of like the hotbeds. It's kind of the United States, Europe, China, and India. Each are a little bit different. India is like a hotbed of AI innovation. I think the Indian industry, Indian companies, they view AI as a way to catch up really quickly.
Right.
That's what AI is for companies that are trying to play catch up. They're trying to advance towards the leaders. And I think Indian companies realize that. So it's a hotbed for AI innovation, AI embracing AI, things like that. So we're excited about it. That's probably why OpenAI and others are leaning in so hard in this region. It's one of the 4 big regions around the world that are doing really unique things with AI.
Lovely, lovely. All the best for all of the future endeavors, and I'm sure Lenovo is going to be a mainstay in the AI shaping of what the Indian story is going to be about. And
it's exciting.
Hopefully we'll get to have more conversations around AI in the future as well.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Great
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Scott. Thank you so much.
man.
That was indeed an interesting conversation with Scott. But the next one, this next segment, is especially for the ones who want to absolutely change the way they do photography on a smartphone, because the smartphone can be a camera, really. So this is the Vivo X300 Pro. Vivo says it's their champion device of 2025, and they're also saying that they've improved the camera this year, which they almost say every year. However, I feel this time around, this phone is offering something really crazy in a good way. Why? Because this phone does what most Android flagships wouldn't, or maybe say couldn't. And yes, I've been testing the X300 Pro and the camera has just blown me away, but there's a lot more that this phone brings to the game, and that's exactly what I wanted to show you in this review. So let's check out the new Vivo X300 Pro review. Talking about the design, it keeps a very similar design philosophy like last year's edition, and I don't think that it's a bad idea. You have that identity in the market, and Vivo says, okay, if we're getting a flagship, it needs to look like this. It has a flat 6.78-inch display, 7.9mm body, and that velvet glass finish at the back kind of gives it a very premium, understated vibe. And also it has new materials that have been used, but the design is the same. So I am not complaining here. I kind of like that some companies, keep things simple. So overall, the design is good enough. Yes, it does make the phone a bit top heavy because of this large camera module, but otherwise I don't think there's any problem, with the design. Okay, let me just say this upfront. This camera module, this entire system is absolutely ridiculous because this phone is almost capable of doing something that even a DSLR can do. And there's a reason behind that. But before we get to the main reason, let's talk about this magnificent 200 megapixel telephoto sensor that the phone has added, which is an absolute game changer, honestly. Why? First, get this, it has 8mm focal length, which obviously gets you more depth, and the subject separation is perfect. You also get a bigger 2.67 aperture, which means more light for your photos, and up to 20x of telephoto macro, which means all of your macro photography just lights up. And overall, the telephoto is sharper, cleaner, and more stable than anything we have seen on a smartphone. So it is indeed a comprehensive camera system, and if you are into photography, this is the one to go for. Now coming to the reason why this could be a game changer and also sort of a threat for DSLRs, it's this Zeiss 2.35x telephoto extender. Yes, it comes separately, but it totally changes the way that you can do photography on this phone. Because this teleconverter makes the X300 Pro behave like an actual legit mirrorless setup. Normally with a digital zoom, it won't really give you that quality. However, with a teleconverter, that whole crispness in image just pops up. I agree, when you zoom in a bit, yes, it converts the images into sort of an AI rendition, which is not that good. However, if you are practical with this kind of a setup, use it judiciously, you will be able to get some good shots. Take for example these samples which I have clicked using this teleconverter, and the amount of clarity I've been able to get, yes, I have been impressed. Coming back to the normal setup, yes, it has a new 50 megapixel LYT828 sensor with gimbal stabilization inside. Yes, it's a new sensor, and photography from that one also is really good. Because the low light shots are cleaner, night portraits have less ghosting, and videos are much more sharper than before. So yes, when Vivo says that they improved the camera system, I have experienced the same. And talking about the 50 megapixel ultra wide lens, it is also good. The color shift isn't as much, and you will be able to get some very good shots from these. The front also comes with a 50 megapixel camera with autofocus, but the good thing is it comes with a wider field of view, so you can accommodate more people. And to just sum everything up, this whole camera system is just really outstanding. And if you are someone who is passionate about photography, this is the perfect phone for you. Coming to the battery, yes, it might not look that impressive on paper because Vivo hasn't given you a 7000 mAh plus battery, but in terms of practicality and usage, I have been able to get the best out of this smartphone. Because even on average use, you will be able to get at least 2 days of battery life with this one. If you really push it, maybe you're gaming a lot, maybe you're shooting videos, you'll be able to get 1 day very easily. So numbers are really synthetic over here. And on top of that, you get 90 watt wired charging and also 40 watt wireless charging. So you will be able to get a quick top up even if you run out of battery juice. The overall performance engine is being supported by a Dimensity 9500, which again is a very efficient chipset. It has a great CPU, and also the AI features are being taken care of by a separate neural processor. And I don't think performance wise you will have any issues with this smartphone because I've been using it, multitasking is a breeze. I've been gaming on this phone, and it doesn't really heat up because it has a dedicated vapor chamber cooling system inside. So a comprehensive performance smartphone. The only caveat I feel is the Origin OS ecosystem, and if people are not used to Origin OS, they are the ones who might feel something different. However, they have made improvements in overall UI, overall UX, and Origin OS is a breath of fresh air. It's just that you need to have that, that positive attitude. Okay, I'm going to try Origin OS. It's not that different. You might not get the clean Android or maybe an iOS experience, but it's still good. You also get IP68 and IP69, which means it's dust proof and waterproof, and also heat resistant against some high pressure water jets, and also it gets armor glass. So even if you drop this phone accidentally, obviously it won't break. See? So to conclude, the Vivo X300 Pro is a comprehensive device, especially with a beautiful camera system. It also gives you great battery life and a solid design, which you should not be complaining about. The added teleconverter lens is the premium that you get in this smartphone segment, because there aren't any other smartphones except the X9 Pro that offer this kind of functionality. And if you really want to up your camera game, you buy that kit and you have this phone, you'll be sorted. Maybe even replace your DSLRs. I understand in this price segment, maybe over a lakh, the Vivo is creeping dangerously close to the iPhones and the Samsungs, but understand the utility that this one offers. And if you really not someone who cares about mainstream brand philosophy and want to be adventurous, wants more features, the Vivo X300 Pro is a very good option. That's it for this edition of the Tech Today show. We'll be back with more news on AI, tech and auto and everything that revolves around technology. So stay tuned. This is Cyrus signing off. Take care.